My name is Michael Knecht. I'm from Jupiter, Florida. I went to Jupiter Christian School and I'm currently 29 years old.
What was your life like before your problems started?
I grew up in a pretty affluent family, enjoying water sports. I grew up on the ocean, wakeboarding, tubing, spearfishing. I played a lot of tennis. I played golf, and my parents kept me in sports pretty regularly. And everything started to change. The stock market crashed, which caused a big rift in our family. And shortly after that, when I was around 7 years old, I was taken to a psychiatrist and they labeled me with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and I was put on medication, and that's when my behavior started to change.
When and how did your problems and troubles start?
When I was around 10 years old, I started going into my parents' liquor cabinet and taking alcohol out and putting it into empty water bottles, sneaking it up to my room and drinking them at night when my parents went to sleep.
And you'd mentioned earlier that it was the ADD medicine, which is an it's an amphetamine that...
I was on Adderall and I didn't know why I couldn't sleep. I'm laying there in bed as a kid, a little kid, with my eyes closed, watching the back of my eyelids and not knowing what's going on. And getting maybe 3 hours of sleep a night. That's like 21 hours of sleep a week. I'm pretty sure your kid's gonna start acting a little bit strange. And this went on for years.
When did you first get into trouble? Real trouble?
The first time I got into real trouble, I was around 13 years old, and I went to a paintball range called Bloody Machete. And while I was there, I had the bright idea, with all my 13 years of wisdom, to go crawl through the woods and go into somebody's tent and try to steal their Angel paintball gun. It was called an Angel. And I got caught, and I tried to run, and they chased me through the woods, and they caught me and called the police, actual police officers, and they took me out there and put me in cuffs, and I was going to get a grand theft charge, which is a felony punishable by 3 to 5 years in prison. But because of who my family is and the school that I went to, the officer let my parents come pick me up and take me home with no type of consequence.
As it relates to that episode, what should your folks and your teachers at school have done differently?
I believe that I should have had more creative punishments. Not, don't do that again, you're grounded for one day, and then letting me out the next day to go do whatever I want to do. Because I was very good at manipulating my situation. I would bring up, I have ADD, and that causes me to not think straight. These were all excuses I made for myself from the label that they put on me, and I used it to my advantage. I manipulated it.
How did your ADD diagnosis affect you?
Overnight, I'm a kid and all of a sudden I have a label. I'm a mental health patient now. That means I'm allowed to do mental health patient type of things. I'm not responsible for my behavior. I can do whatever I want when I want because now I'm diagnosed and I take medication. People, when you give them a label at a young age especially, they make it their own. Like, oh, my name is Michael and I have ADD. And I believe that got me to go down an entirely different path because now I'm not normal. That's the worst thing in the world for a kid to think every day he wakes up that he's not normal. So then guess what? I'm gonna do abnormal things.